I know if you watch my videos, you guys know that I'm really into drawing the figure. I really enjoy it. I enjoy like drawing of anatomy, drawing of gesture, drawing of form. But this sometimes I like to look at masters of perspective, and this is certainly one of those books. This is Blame, a very interesting manga. Um, it's like a silent manga. Like, well, there's dialogue, but it's very sparse. I guess is the term I'm looking for. Very rare. Um, like it's just an interesting like comic book that sort of I think of it as like Dark Souls, the video game. It's very lonely. And like anytime there are other people, it's sort of like something bad usually happens, and it's a very mysterious story. You don't know why the character is doing what he's doing, but he's kind of walking through this planet of like structure, like just these huge structures. Like you don't know if it's a ship. I don't know what it is, but it's like a planet where it's just like a maze of very odd structures, and it's you get to follow this character from the beginning to the end and kind of slowly learn things over time, kind of like Dark Souls. It's a very lonely, isolating, book. So I wanted to take a look at this because when I saw this, it really just kind of hit me. Like, this is something special. So we start out, and we're looking at a lot of like screen tone, great inking, just unbelievable architecture, and it's very and the composition. I'm gonna move my hand in a second. The composition is insane. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's a 1 point perspective, and it's sort of going, but it seems off. And like you see these like structures on the top. So we sort of get this interaction between our characters. Like I said, the dialogue is very it's not very common. But yeah, that's a great panel there. They have like these weird creatures that you don't know if they're like aliens, humanoid, robot. I'm assuming they're robots. Very AI like stuff. Look at that. The world feels so big and so lonely for this character. And there's great panels too, great storytelling. I mean, manga is such a fast. I mean, you could probably read this book in like 15 minutes, but it's great. It's very haunting too. Like, it's not much is explained, and I like the mysterious feel to it. Like, look at those pipes, the amount of detail that's put on structures. I'm thinking about going through this entire series here because I really do think that this is a special series. The cracks, the cracks in the walls and the pillars. Because that's the thing is like you want to learn to draw everything. And this is a book that like you could learn a lot from like composition and architectural things. I mean, it's just, I mean, look at that. Man, look at that composition. Composition is super important as well, you know, when you're drawing. There are panels in this book where you just feel like panels like that, you're sort of looking down at nothingness. And the world is so big. This is on paper. This is on two-dimensional flat paper. And the amount of 3D, turning, using cubes, using, your basic shapes. Your basic forms, if you will, to create this world is insane. It's like anytime a person comes around, something bad happens, usually. Our character seems more content when he's on his own. Man, look at that. Look at that page. Just the world seems so big. Look at that. Look at that. It feels never ending. It feels like there's just no end to these structures. It's this beautiful marriage of storytelling and architecture. Also, if you're a fan of Zipatone, this book's got tons of it. Or Screen Tone. Yeah, look at that. What a great book. What a great book. I'm not really into that, very angular, manga figure drawing. But it's just so cool. That's a great page right there. I wonder how long this took. I do wonder. And these weird monsters and creatures that are larger than life. Very Dark Souls feel. It's like Dark Souls in the future. It's very cool. Look at that. That's a great piece. It's probably a cover or something that was in. I don't know if this was put in a collection every month or what, but look at that. He's getting very creative with using different media to sort of create his story. I know we're flipping through this relatively quickly, but this is a beast of a book. This is a manga that I feel like it's not as popular as it should be. I feel like this manga should be way more popular than it is. And I don't know if it's because of the creator kind of not being interested in making an anime of it or what. But man, look at that. I love it when I read The Crow or something like that with James O'Barr. It's he's using different media. It's very cool. I don't even know what year this came out. But, yeah, man. A lot of use of one-point perspective, too. It's not, insane perspective. I mean, there are some pages where there's some insane perspective, but, I mean, the amount of shit that you can do with one-point perspective is insane. The lettering, I'm not really into the lettering. I think the lettering actually kills it sometimes. Kind of takes you out of that atmosphere, but it's just such cool stuff. It's very, very cool. Yeah. And anytime you got a bunch of splatter, I'm in for it. That's very cool. I mean, it's just like cool panel after cool panel. Look at that. And there's a lot of use of screen tone. Like a ton of screen tone in this. It's like screen tone on top of screen tone. To give it that very dark feeling to it. It's a very dark book, for sure. Yeah, look at that. Very bizarre stuff, too. Very haunting, bizarre stuff. Have you ever read this before? If you have, hopefully you like it. And if not, hopefully you'll check this out. Because it is a very interesting book, for sure. It's like a cyberpunk kind of book. It's like cyberpunk mixed with like Dark Souls. It's very cool. And the way he draws like the AI it's just very, I mean, that's a terrifying panel there. And our guy seems like he's not afraid of anything. He's just sort of like, whatever. Hey, look at that. Trying to get close in. Trying to get close in here. Yeah. Great structures there. It's just, the world is so big. It's really difficult to like talk about some of this stuff because it's just so mind-blowing. I mean, he uses a lot of 1 point perspective, but then you'll see pieces that are 2 point perspective for sure. Master perspective. I love that. That's very cool. I love it when art does shit like that, like kind of like shows you that path in her. It's like, oh, he's got a long way to go. And some color in here. I love the color. I don't know what he's using. I don't know if he's using like colored pencil. I'm not sure. Wish there was more of that. But I'm usually a sucker for black and white, but that color is just very cool. It also gives you like ideas. Like it gives me ideas. Like I would like to do something like that at some point. I think it'd be very cool. A lot of, again, more structural drawings. I mean, what the fuck is that? I think it's well, it's a slither, so I'm guessing it's a snake of some sort, like a worm, snake. This is very creative stuff. The creativity is something that you have to marvel at too. I mean, look at that. That's such a cool panel there. See, it's some kind of like VR headset or something. That's a face you can trust, for sure. All the AI characters are so creepy and have like no emotion, you know? And why would they? They're AI, you know? And I don't even know if our character's human. I've only read the first two books so far. And when he draws like these giant like characters, they feel ginormous. So cool. Anytime he has any interaction with anything that's not himself, it is always bad. More interesting 1 point perspective. I love that page there. Or panel, sorry. I mean, he's going down this never ending. Look at that. It's like a mall. I mean, there's people. There's little tiny people, it looks like on these stairs. His ability to like show how big something is. What's not depth, but like not proportion either, but just like the ability to show how large these areas are and how large these structures are is just unbelievable. Just never ending. Just reminds you of like Mobius in Long Tomorrow and Incal, where the character's falling down this like never ending pit. It's just like, yeah. This is a very ambitious book, but it works. It's just, I mean, you see there's not a lot of dialogue going on. So much movement, so much storytelling through just silence. And when there is dialogue, it's very simplistic. It's not nothing really deep. But what's being told through the pages and the panels and the drawings is unbelievable. Hey, look at that. Great page. I wish that they would do something with this. I don't know if they made an anime with it. But, yeah. But then again, I'm kind of like, I'd rather it just stay a manga now that I think about it. I don't need to really see it on a screen. I'd actually be cool if it just stayed a manga. And if it has become an anime, let me know. Oh, look at that. So yeah, this is Blame, and if you're interested, you should definitely check it out. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at how cool. Look at that panel. Look at that page there. Just unbelievable. But yeah, if you're interested in checking it out, you absolutely should. It's a very good read from what I've read. I've read the first two books. I think there's 6 in total. And then, of course, we end with our characters going through there. And then he also has a book called Knights of Sidonia. I've never read it or never seen it. I believe it was done before Blame. And I think Blame is kind of like his magnum opus. But yeah, if you're interested in this book, you should absolutely check it out. Even if you're not a fan of manga, like I would suggest just checking it out because it's very cool stuff, and I'm so happy I own it because I can. When you're drawing, you want to create these very interesting worlds and these very, like, just dynamic worlds, and this book is kind of somebody who is a true master at creating this huge, ginormous world of unknown, and it's a very cool book. So yeah, check it out. It's great. If you're a figure drawing person, yeah, it's not like super beautiful when it comes to the figure, but it's very creative when you look at the AI and there's some really I think the next book there's some really cool looking AI characters. So or alien characters, but I believe they're AI. So we're gonna probably look through book 2. I'll see how well this video does, and then I'll probably continue to do it. Just go through all 6 of them, because I think this is definitely a book that everybody should sort of just, even if you want to just pick up the first one, should just kind of know exists, because I think it should be up there with other manga that exists. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.